Hey there, Simple Dots. Just getting set up. How are you doing today? A lot of work still. Jeez. There we go. Yeah, it seemingly never ends, even on Thursdays. But Thursdays are the best day of the week because if you're all caught up by Thursday, then Friday's a nice day to just lean into. And plus, things tend to fall apart on Fridays, so at the moment working on an SQL server and trying to set up WireGuard connection to download DB. That's fun. And WireGuard connection. I haven't played with WireGuard yet. I'll take a peek at that at some point in time. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm surrounded by cables. Oof. That means that your cable came in though, your connector, or converter rather. So that's a good thing. Pardon me, I got a little bit of the snuffles. Okay. Set this down here. Well, if you're gonna work with that, surprisingly, yes. That's good though. Sometimes it's crazy how fast stuff comes in the mail. Like I'm waiting for a filament jar to come in the mail for my 3D printer, and I have no idea where it is or how far away it is or when I'm gonna see it, if I'm gonna see it, kind of thing. But it's coming via Amazon, so I gotta assume I'm gonna get it. I just don't know when. I used to be someone who was surrounded by cables all the time. Not when I was in IT, but just in general. I've got a box on the floor of just power cables. and then right beside me to my right, I'll tap it real quick. I have a box that's just USB cables of every flavor. And then I've got a big stack of LED everything. So I used to love being surrounded by just connectors and cables. It just, I don't know, it just feels fun. Oh, that's what I was doing. Thank you. I just remembered I need to put myself into streamer mode on Discord. Streamer mode enabled. There we go. Okay, so we're getting into stream here. While you're working on your SQL server, I'm going to work on our Chaos Space Marines. I need to get my hands on a spool of Ethernet cables since I have like 5 switches tossed on the ground, making connections across the room. Yes, I recommend that, or a GL iNet. I've got one of those. It's just a tiny little... Actually, one second, I wonder if I can pull it out without it crashing everything. I have one of these, and all it is just a tiny little router. It's super weird, but I use it for, let's see here. I use it for, oh, is that looped in? No. Is that, there we go. There we go. Sorry. Anyway, I use this thing for when I have to get just like from point A to point B across one part of the house, but don't want to drag a bunch of Ethernet cable. And I've got OpenWRT on it, just to make my life a lot easier. It also will hold Wi-Fi pineapple stuff really well, so it's kind of a fun little toy. But I find the appliance on it's super useful, and it's really good if you're traveling to like a hotel or something, because you can plug in the WAN into the Ethernet connection and then monitor all the connections on it yourself. Super nice, super nice. Yeah, definitely buy a spool of Cat 45 or Cat 6A or Cat 6E if you can. Yeah, on AliExpress, relatively cheap. All you can do is just make sure you check the quality of the cable. Yeah, that's what I would do is buy it from AliExpress. That said, we should talk about what we did yesterday. So, yesterday, we started assembling our Space Marines here. And we realized that we needed a process for how to figure these out. The booklet's pretty straightforward about what it is we need to do. But for someone like me who's never approached it before, in a way that made sense, understanding what my choices were made this a lot easier. I have like 5-port mini switches, but I only have like 2 meters of Ethernet cable. So that's why I need the switches. Yeah. Absolutely, dude. Having that many switches, 100%. Especially if you got like a rack or something. I realized that with this, it probably makes sense to write down what shoulder pieces we're using, as well as what head piece we're using. Excuse me, we can choose the heads as well. But what I found for these for our process, because these are the new combat patrols, or the new as of 10th, I guess, is that it has this nice little part chart. And so the part chart allows us just to say, here's what we're going to be using or can use. Hello. So what I've been doing is crossing out what we have used, so I know kind of immediately on the sprues what's left, just to make our lives a lot easier. Then we can pick and choose as we go. And I'm tempted just to tear this piece out, but I don't want to tear up the paper. Bad enough I'm writing on it with a Sharpie. So that's how we started our process, and yesterday we got through 4 Marines this way, 4 Chaos Space Marines. So we did a fantastic job of getting things going. So I'm going to keep that momentum today and try and get through maybe another 4 Chaos Space Marines while we can. And that's the plan for today, is just work through the Chaos Space Marines. And now that I've got that established, I just wanted to have that on stream so we can make sure we have the right direction. How's your day going? Pretty good. My Astartes gene seed is still, he's got a little bit of a cold, so I'm just making sure he's okay, but so far it's been pretty good. I woke up late, and unfortunately I got the stream organized kind of late. I was hoping to get this organized a little sooner, but I didn't put priority on this as I intended to. So, and I did that because I knew how far we were already, and I assumed I could just come in very quickly with it. Normally I start 15 minutes before the stream is intended to start, but today I brought it down to the wire and started it, 5 or 6 minutes before. Kind of in the future, I think I'll do that again where I start. But sorry, in the future I'll go back to the 15 minutes before, because I like having a little bit of breathing room to get things set up, make sure everything's working right, make sure my audio is correct, and I have everything aligned, and I have fresh water, and I have all my paperwork in front of me, just so I can just get out the door and just get my momentum rolling. Let me know if this camera shot's a little too revealing. I brought it back a little bit so we can see the bottom of the page now. I might bring it back just a hair. There we go. But other than that, I'm doing very well. I'm excited to stream today. I'm excited to get progress on this, and I am over the moon when it comes to working on this stuff. So I'm having a great day. It's okay. I appreciate that, man. Okay, so we last left off with having done 7, I believe it was. Yes, because we have him done. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to write 2026-02- taste the 5th. So I'm going to write 04 on this guy, because that's where we left off, was here. And just put done. Just so when I get to the, starting to, well, I want to have a process for this so I know where I left off. Rather than having to reference the minis that we started. Just for my sake, because I can be very disorganized. So having the ability to stay organized is really important to me. Okay, that said, we did notice as well last time that there's a little hair here where it wasn't quite all the way sealed. Just on the edge, if you'll focus. Are we going to focus? There we go. So I might resolve that, but it's very hard to see, so I think maybe some paint will just fill the gap. So I'm not super worried about it. But we're going to focus on number 8 and start working down this process here. Super excited. Now, 8A, now I see this symbol here across a couple different lines here. Also, I've changed the lighting today as well, so I upped the brightness a bit. This little symbol, I think means this is the glue path, or the press path to complete it. I think I'm going to see that over here on, 8B. So my choices here for 8 are to do either sword or bolter, and I think I'm going to go with the bolter. And that's because I don't mind the swords. I just don't know if I like the way the swords look. Like, they've got the little knot at the end on them, which is fine. But I don't know, I feel like maybe they're just lacking something. So, I'm going to stick with the bolters for now. Lots of shooting. And then later, if it comes down to it, I can see there's some, fighting or whatever. But that's on the tabletop. Like the manager at my local game store said, if you really have to worry about what you see is what you get, that's when you're in tournaments. And at that point, if you're in a tournament where they worry about what you see is what you get, just buy the models and remake them. At that point, that's all you need to worry about. And even then, buy like whatever unit you need, take those individual models out and replace them. Don't do the whole combat patrol over again. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that. So, B1, B2, that's what we need right away. I'm just going to stretch real quick. Grab some water. And I came prepared today. I brought a monster. So, I'll be good for partway through the stream when I need some caffeine. Just going to warm up real quick. B1, B2. God, these sculpts are so cool. I love the way that they look. Just these possessed. They just look so cool. Maybe I will use some of these swords, because I can see like claws on them. Does he have claws? No, he doesn't. I'll save the swords for the possessed, because they can be really badass. Yeah. B1, B2. There's one. Sorry about that. I've got a little tag on the back of my microphone here. Just like a tow hook that you would have on a car. It's shaped like a heart with devil horns. There's number 2. And I'm just going to carve this up a little bit just to smooth it out some. Excuse me. Let's see here. Yeah, it's funny, Simple Dots, is I started posting our 360 videos to YouTube and gotten a little bit of traction there. Like, people are really interested. They really seem to like what we've painted. But I'm also putting it to like heavy metal music too, so like I think that helps especially. Just smoothing out some sprue lines here. Just using my god hand. Just give it a little touch back and forth. Do you like heavy metal? Simple Dots? That's good to hear. Maybe more people will tune into the stream. Maybe. I mean, if people don't, that's fine. I just like sharing kind of all the stuff that we do because it just looks so cool, and I just want to show everybody. Just because I'm super proud of it, and I'm especially a fan of like. So I love Slaves to Darkness, right? And I love putting it to heavy metal in my head. Like, I love the way they look. If you've ever heard of the band Candlemass, I love watching, I just love looking at my, on my Slaves to Darkness, and I love looking at them with the song Solitude by Candlemass playing. It is so like aesthetically pleasing. Like, it tickles the right part of my brain. It just looks so cool. Because it feels like that sludging trudge of war. Like, and so I want to share that with everyone. Like, yeah, I mean, selfishly, yeah, I'm streaming, and it's good to have more people here. You know, it's good for the stream, and it'll keep the stream longer if people are here. Fine, yes. But, I mean, there's no denying, like, this stuff looks so cool, and if more people could get into it, and more people could, like, just see what's being done, maybe there'd be more people who do tutorials. Maybe there'd be more people who try the hobby and, you know, do some cool stuff as well. Like, I don't just like to build and paint and clip the stuff. I love to watch videos of people having done this stuff. I love being inspired, you know. I love the artwork that people have from this. And I think that, like, if more people could be involved, I'm not saying I want to inspire people, that would be crazy. But if people could be involved and just want to build, then this hobby can just only go up, right? Like, maybe GW will make more sculpts, maybe they'll make them more grimdark looking. That would be so cool. Like, I would love to see some more body horror, like Marines. Like, that just would be so sweet. It's a big wish, but for me it's an important wish. Again, I'm just blowing right into the recesses just to get the glue to follow all the lines. Do you like heavy metal? B3, B131. There's B131. And honestly, I'm always looking for more suggestions of like heavy metal music to listen to. I like Bolt Thrower right now. They're a Warhammer band from the 80s. I shouldn't say they're a Warhammer band. They're a band that does Warhammer-like or music about Warhammer. And they're just so cool. I've used a couple of the songs now. Or at least one. Ironically called Tank Mark 1. Some of the other ones also. Nice. Excuse me. I still need B3. Do you have any type of music that you do like to listen to? I ask because I'm someone who I love music, so I'm always interested in like the different types of music, or just more music in general. That looks pretty good there on the scrape. Yeah, actually I think I did pretty good on the sprue lines on this one, or the gate lines. Wow. Okay, let's put some glue on this. Excuse me. And again, we'll just do our smush. I really listen to music, but if I listen to it, I kind of like Wardruna, Danheim, or like, I have not heard of those. I'm gonna go check them out. I won't listen to them on stream because copyright potential issues, but I'm gonna take a peek as to what they are. I'm just gonna take a moment here and just press a couple times just to make sure we create that pseudo sprue glue inside the joint. Wardruna. Ooh. Okay. They almost look like, oh, they're folk. Nice. Oh, they're Norwegian. Ooh, okay. This Wardruna. Danheim. Danheim looks really cool. It's sort of like a Viking kind of metal. I really like it. I'll listen to them after the stream. Thank you, by the way. I'm just gonna take the backpack and just wiggle it a little bit until I start to feel the tension. And then once I start to feel the tension, I'll slow it down and press it into place, because that means that the joint is welding. Which is good. I'll just clean up these little sprue lines here on the rounded pieces. Using the back of my knife. Yeah, it's Viking vibe. No problems. I kind of got into Windrose when I was getting into the dwarf Viking kind of thing. And Windrose I thought was really cool. And the first song I heard by them was Diggy Diggy Hole. And that's because they were on stage the same time as Gwar. And I love Gwar. Oh my god, do I love Gwar. I miss the old Gwar with Dave Brocky, but obviously he can't play anymore because he's passed on. But Gwar is still really cool. B4 is what I need here. Kind of just an average looking gun. What's the other option? There is no other option. Oh no, B7 is the other one. It's also an average looking bolter. I'm gonna go B4. Just clamp my sprue lines in the back. Just to make it nice and smooth so it's easier to connect the shoulder later, and then along back here. Just using the back of my knife like I said before. Just nice and clean. Just to make the armor really, really smooth. I'm gonna turn on another light here. I feel like it's really dark today. Just get rid of the sprue line on the back of this gun, or top of the gun rather, just so it can be, just so it can look normal. And just clean up just the top here just a little bit. And just along the other side here. Stuff that people won't normally see, but why not? And I just need to drill out the barrel here, which I'll be very careful with. So my blade likes to slip sometimes. Just starting that hole, but I can see it's a little off center, so just widen it on this side a little bit more, just to make it pretty even, I guess. A little bit more. It's looking better. That's a lot better. I'll just clean up the sprue line on the barrel here. Just with the back of the knife. Not the front, just the back. And there's another one back here I just saw too. Now I can use my god hand, 1mm. It's just the perfect size for these. It's funny, when I bought these god hand tools, I was working on Gundams. Because I used to really love working on Gundam stuff. I've got some pretty fun Gundam kits too. I've got like the mold making machine. Stuff I'll never open, but stuff I just thought was really cool to own. I've got like the ramen cup and like the Ferrari designed Gundam. Or I should say it's a Gundam made by a Ferrari engineer or designed by a Ferrari engineer. Clean this up just a little bit more. And just like that, my bolter is clear. Put some more light on this. So that's pretty good. Just take my my hobby knife here and clean up just a bit more. Just make sure there's no more sprue lines. I'll use the sharp side knife this time, just make sure I didn't catch anything. Oh yeah, it's looking a lot better. Much better. And I need what other piece here? B5. So first I'm gonna open up this part of the hole again like I normally do. This will just help the gluing. Just to help create like a glue pin. Actually, I should wait on that. Because I still have to put the other arm on. Yeah, I need B5. Almost made that mistake. Okay. 5. I was rushing. I was excited to get the piece on. And what would be helpful is I could just slow down and just make sure I get all the instructions correct. B5. Okay, where's 5? No, that's that guy and that guy. There's no B5 there. It must be on the other couple sprues I just had. I'm looking for B5. Wherever B5 is. Excuse me. Here somewhere. Oh, right here. I got it. The nice thing about the Citadel glue is I can reactivate it by just putting some glue on top of it. So I don't need to rush it, even though I did put it on too early. Again, just using the back of my knife just to clean it up. I'll clean up the shoulder blade, shoulder pad rather. Just like that. There. Now I'll come back to this model. And just where the hand is, a little glue. And that glue's kind of dried there, but we'll worry about that in a second. There. Just like that. Now I can go back to here and drill out the opposite side as well. Just like that. I'll come back over to here where I've got my piece. Pop it a little bit like that. A little glue on both sides. Like I said, we're just reactivating the spot that we opened up earlier by mistake. And then we're just working the shoulders in until they look like they fit. Just like that. Just like that. Perfect. Now, we have to find a head. One head that we like. So we get to choose a head from two. This guy's just a regular gunner, so I might give him kind of these tiny horns. So 127. Now I have to choose an A and B, so what about 28 and 51? So cross off 51 and 28. There's 28. I need 51. I need head number 127. So I need to find 127. Ah, right there. Sand the bottom off a little bit, just so it's nice and smooth and the glue likes to adhere to it a little easier. And actually I'll punch a little hole here. Just in the bottom where it is so smooth. There we go. There's just no sprue lines. Looks pretty good. Maybe just one up here. And then, again, punch some sprue holes, or glue holes on the backs of these, rather. Make sure it's cleaned up a little. Just so they look fine. I'm gonna move my microphone down here just a bit. There we go. Sometimes when my microphone disconnects, it sort of loses the spot it was in. Like it'll disconnect when I move it. So I just need to be careful to make sure that it's all together. Okay, I got my hole drilled. Take out the extra material here. Perfect. Didn't go all the way through, which is good. And over here, I'll just do the same thing. Doesn't really matter where the holes are, just as long as I have some place to make sure the glue flows into. And that just helps me to keep things on there for a lot longer. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do the shoulders. Oh, actually, we're going to do the feet here while I get a chance to. Almost an hour in and we're almost done one marine. That's pretty good. Might be right on track to do 4 marines in 4 hours. Which puts us right on track with yesterday, which means we've got really good momentum. Put a hole back here in the ankle. I was thinking about the Razorback that we did on stream, and a realization I had is that it's very clean. It looks like it came off the assembly line. It's so clean. I have Sterling Mud, I have technicals, and I started to talk to the commissar about it, and we came to the conclusion that like maybe it should stay kind of clean the way it is, because the Templar would probably, like, they would aim to do that, right? But I realized that one of the things I don't really do a lot of is I don't add a lot of dirt effects to things, and I used to love to make everything dirty. And so I almost feel like I'm rushing when I'm not adding like dirt and grime and stuff. And I'm learning that with bases as well. So I'm thinking for these Marines, I might add a little bit of grime to them, a little bit of dirt, just to make them look like they've been through sludge and war and things like that. I mean, they're Chaos Space Marines anyway, right? Man, these holes are turning out really good. They're just quick pin holes. No need for actual pins, but just when the glue recesses into them, it'll help create just a spot for the glue to settle, but also for the other piece to connect onto. Almost like having like a substrate between the two of them, between the shoulder and the shoulder pad. Like an additional pin so just nothing falls off. There we go. The only downside using Citadel glue is I find that like every now and then the tip will clog, but you can just pull it off. It's no big deal. But I end up having to like do this fishing motion where I'm trying to ask all the glue to go to the end. That's a lot of glue, but we'll work with it. I'm just going to pop a pinhole in the top of this helmet too. Sorry, not helmet, but the neck. Just again for that glue. Just like I said, to create that pseudo pin that I'm talking about all the time. The thing that I won't shut up about. Okay, take our head here. I'm just going to pop some glue down that spot, like I said. And I'll take this head and face it just towards where he's shooting. I think that looks pretty cool. Hey, there we go. That's one more Marine done. Take my marker, write him off as done. And now we go into 9. And 9. I like this weapon that 9 has, the 9B, just because it's a big, it's got like the chain of bullets coming out the bottom of it, which I just think is so cool. B45 and B44. There we go. Ooh, he's got some definition to the bottom of his foot. I just noticed that. He's got like a tread on the bottom of his shoe. That's cool. You know what? I like that because that's storytelling. So what I'm going to do is when I put some sterling mud down later, I'll push the boot in and then drag it across a couple times, so it looks like he's like walked through the mud. That could be really cool. Oh, I should check to see what's there. And there is sprue line. Just use my sandpaper just to clean up just a hair. There's still a little bit there underneath the boot. So that boot's going to get cleaned up pretty good. I'll have to seal this too, but clean up the, ooh, don't want to clean up that part. I want to clean up just the little notch that's left. So I'll use my God hand scraper here. That seems to be pretty good smoothing it out. Just like that. And this side has a little bit, so I use God hand scraper here as well. Just because I want that curve, but just to help sell the curve. And we'll keep the line there because it looks fine on the front. And then just a little bit of sandpaper. Just like that. And there's a little bit in there, just where this grenade is. You know, what's funny is I was watching a video last night about how every version of Warhammer has been broken to some degree. And I think it was 5th edition. One of the most interesting things was this thing called a virus bomb, which would just replicate and destroy. And I thought that was so cool. You could theoretically replicate it infinitely. Okay, I'm just going to grab my hobby knife here and just scrape this up. I didn't get as far as 40k 10th edition, but I was like, how do they plan to break 10th edition? Like, what breaks it? I guess Centurions kind of break it. I mean, they're slow, but they've got deep strike. Take his foot here and just... That's pretty good. I could still grind it out a little bit more, though. Just using 600 grit sandpaper. Put my pilot hole in the bottom here. I could put a pilot hole in this boot, but not the other one. Because the other one has the detail in it. I was wondering why the stream looks so dark. My top brightness was really, really low. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, this is going to be funny. Got a couple places we need to glue here, just to make it look consistent. So along the back edge here is going to be important because we want to be able to see here, but also right here is really important along the butt. And that's because there's like a separation here in the belt. So I'm going to tack it from that side and then bring it back and then push it back into place. Oh, come on. Come on. And again, I'm just blowing just so it goes everywhere into all the crevices. A little push, let go, a little push, let go, a little push, relief pressure. And just like that, the belt kind of lines up without being able to see any of the, if I can get to focus here, any of the cut lines, which is exactly what we're aiming for. I have some Marines that I was building at one point in time, and I didn't go through this process. They were from the hobby start box, starter kit, and I didn't do this process of cleaning them up and getting them on. I just sort of cut them and just said, it's good enough. And unfortunately, what ended up happening with that is that though they were good enough for tabletop, they didn't feel the way that I wanted to represent these Marines. I had them in a bag. Actually, one sec, I'll go grab them so you can see what they look like. maybe we'll paint these on stream at some point in time. But these are my hobby start Marines. I thought I would call them retro Marines. There was attempts to do a lot of things, but it didn't work out. For example, here's one guy here that I put with a clear purple base that just didn't work out the way I wanted to because I was new to resin. I just realized there's no desktop audio. Why? Where's my desktop audio? Apologies, now there should be some music. Wait, why is there no music? One sec, I'm going to fix the audio here real quick. There we go. Sorry about that. I just realized there was no audio at all. Okay, where was I? Yes, so there's some stuff I haven't painted here at all. Stuff I thought that would be cool, but I oversprayed with the white because I started during the wintertime and didn't really know what I was doing at that time. And then there's like color schemes here that are weird, like this guy was blue screen of death kind of Marine, and that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Some of these just aren't painted. They still have sprue lines, like, I don't know what I was doing. This guy was pretty cool, but like, you know, here's a background that's not painted. Like, the shoulder pad's pretty sick, don't get me wrong. It's made to look like the Jazz Solo Cup. But like, they're not consistent. And like, here's one I tried to do is like an NES Marine, where like I did really deep detail on the power fist. But for all the detail I did there, it's lost because he's not finished being painted. There's no basing, there's nothing. So this is part of my pile of shame where I need to come back to this at some point in time. Maybe we'll do it on stream and we'll paint it up and we'll actually give them the proper paint job that they deserve. For now though, they go back in the box. We're gonna finish on these guys. So I'm currently on 9, so I need 138 and 46. Which that's a chest and a backpack. So 138 should be somewhere here. Right here. Oh, it's not coming off. And actually, a really tragic hobby story, I guess, was when I was first learning how to hobby, I ended up with a Gundam that I got for $5. It was a Zeta Gundam I got for $5 at a convention back in 2006. And I was so excited to put it together because I had no idea how Gundam worked or what it was or anything about it. And I just, I bought it because it was the last day of the convention. The person that was selling them didn't have a lot of, well, they had quite a few sales, but they didn't have very many sales that day, like that Sunday. And they said, well, you might as well have it. $5. And I said, good enough. I said, I'd love to try it. So I took it back to the hotel room, and I didn't know what to do with the Gundam stuff. I didn't know I need nippers or side cutters or like a hobby blade or anything, or even paint. And I had the Gundam somewhere, I guess, but maybe. But it was one of those red Zeta Gundams. And I sat in the hotel room, because it was an anime convention, and I was twisting the pieces off by hand. And it fit together because it was a snap kit, but at the time I didn't know I needed glue. And I find that to be tragic because at the time, I mean, I can't really blame myself because at the time I didn't know, but I didn't respect it enough to learn what to do. I just did whatever I felt like. Which I know now as an adult, because you get later in life, you get to be a little older, a little bit more respectful of things, how they're supposed to work, I guess. I learned now that what I wanted to do was use nippers. Of course, that's the same convention where I ate a sandwich with chopsticks because I was just a dumb kid. When I say dumb kid, I mean I was 19. Wait, how old was I? 2006? No, it was maybe 2010, if that were the case then. Maybe 2009. Not 2006. I'm not that young. Okay, I need B46, the other piece here. Right here. Again, these sculpts are really nice. They don't get a lot of sprue lines on the chest pieces, which is nice. And I'm still going to clean up just a little bit though. And lots of glue around here, just so we can smash it together, and then back off a little bit and just let the glue do all the work to hold it in place and create that like sprue glue kind of weld with it. Oh, this one's got a little hole in it already. That's pretty cool. It's gonna make our life a lot easier later. Press and then let go, and then press and let go, and press and let go, and just let that glue build up into our recesses. We'll glue our backpack on as well. Again, we'll just sort of wiggle it around a little bit. I probably could put a pinhole in the back of that. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea, all things considered, for the glue. But this will create a good weld just for the same. Okay. So B49 and B50 are the gun. B49, B50. B49's right here. I'll just clip that, just like that. And I'll grab my hole cutter here again. I'll start my pallet hole just in the edge. It always ends up a little off center, so we're going to just widen it up a little bit while I got a chance. Just to the full millimeter. And I'm just going to clamp my sprue line just a little bit. I'm going to use the sprue line cutter here. Do the opposite way too. Just get good and flat. I'll just carve up this sprue line along the back of the arm. That looks pretty good. I'm going to pop a hole just back here where the arm is, just for later. Ooh, try not to stab myself by mistake. Not a fan of bleeding live on stream. I'll bleed for the stream, but not in that way. And while I'm here, I might as well do the opposite side of the shoulder too. Go. I just realized something I could do here to make the stream a little bit more interesting. One sec. There we go. Then what I'll do is I'm going to drill that barrel out next, but before I go that far, going to do that. I'm going to go back to our stream chat here just so I can keep track of it. And then do this. Do that. And do this. And what I'll do next is say that there. I'll go to pictures. I'll lock the reference. There we go. I'll hide that for now. Perfect. So now we can keep track of it on stream instead of me flipping back and forth. Okay, so I got my bolter. I'm just going to drill out the barrel now. We're going to partially drilled, but going to just scrape along the line here. Just clean up a little bit. There we go. Now take our drill bit. Now just push that in and try and open this up a little bit more. Oh, it's looking a lot better. A lot better. Take my hobby knife and just clean up around here a little bit more. Just to open up some. And then back in. I'll just lean against the top a little bit. Not too much pressure, but just enough to scrape through. All I'm doing is just drilling out the barrel. That's pretty deep. And then just drill straight through. Look at that. I hope you're able to find some time for Mortarian this week, Simple Dots. I know you like working on them. And doing the database and SQL backups are always a lot of extra effort. But someone's got to do it, and you're the professional. I mean, you've been doing it for a while, so it sounds like you're good at it. And I would assume so. Hope so too. You're a weekend warrior, man. Working for the weekend. I used to be too. I used to love working for the weekend. As soon as 5 o'clock on a Friday hit, I was out of there. But of course, we had a team meeting every Friday at 4:30 to 5, where we got together and just sort of summarized what we were doing and what our plans were, and that's a good little motivator. But I sort of liked working through it, and there were times when I had meetings or things that we were talking about or plans that we were coming up with for automation, and they would ask us to stop our planning or discussions to go to this meeting, which, I mean, okay, that's like I said, it's a good motivator meeting, but I was working on some pretty high level stuff at the time, and I just wanted to get through it. But that's management, right? They want to make sure that you're on track with them and doing everything that they are asking. Sometimes I wondered if it was like a compliance thing where they want to make sure that we were doing exactly what they were asking. So I get little puffs of air just to make sure the glue goes all the way around. All the way around. Clean up this elbow a little bit. Have you seen the new bundles that they've got for 40K? They've got 4 boxes coming out. One for each of the Chaos Gods, I guess. Kind of really excited for them. But the prices are just like $300 a piece. And with potentially 11th edition right around the corner, I don't know if I want to wait till Armageddon. I think I want to wait till Armageddon, 11th edition. Because there's rumors that there's going to be orcs in it. And I've never painted, well, I've painted one orc. I shouldn't say that. I painted an orc. But I've got orcs here I can paint on stream at some point. And maybe that's what we'll do a little later on, after we finish the Chaos Space Marines. Just to break things up, just to see, just so the color palette's just not black all the time, just so we can see some green in here, and later on, maybe see what we do for a Chaos Fiend, or a Forge Fiend rather. Because I do want to get into the Forge Fiend. Just because my brother bought them for me for Christmas, and I'd be remiss if I didn't do it. I've seen it, but didn't they already release? They did release, but there is talk of another, like for when the 11th edition comes out. There's talk of, sorry, I'm just googling stuff here. There's talk of a Armageddon box coming out for them. But I was talking about those boxes. They do look cool, and I don't know if I'm going to get one. Just because we're still in 10th edition and we're 11th, like I said, is right around the corner. I just don't know if it's worthwhile to get one now. Wait for glue to dry. I'll punch a hole here in the corner. I'm hoping all the rumors are true, and that for 11th edition we're going to see, like I said, the Armageddon box, like a return to Armageddon. That would just be really cool. So the last time it happened, I believe, it was the Black Templar versus the Orcs, but that was Hell's Reach, that wasn't Armageddon. This is the last time I remember Orcs fighting anything. But I'm not up to date on Orc lore though, unfortunately. I'd like to be. I think the Orc books could be a lot of fun to read. I know every year I almost buy the Red Gobo book, just because it reads so funny. Put a little more glue just in the shoulder joint here. Alright, so we have to figure out a head and two shoulders. So we're doing this guy with this bolter. What do we think? We have to choose one from 2, one from A, and one from B. I kind of think I like 128 under 2. But then what do I do for the shoulders? I'm going to pop 128 on the screen here. I think maybe for 3B, I want to go with 113. Maybe we'll go 93 as the other one. Put some X's on the screen there for that. Oh, I've got the wrong ones labeled here. I think. Nope, 93, I got that right. So 93, 128, 113. So I need 2 shoulders and a head. Need to be extra careful because there's teeth here I don't want to cut. So 93, 113. And then 128 for the head. Okay, sand the bottom of 128, sand it down, pop a hole in it, that's pretty good. Then take the shoulders. Just gonna clean up the lines here around the teeth. Try not to cut the teeth. It turned out pretty good. And I'll cut my hole into it. There's just no sprue lines in the sky. There is, but we'll clean up really fast. Just with the back for a knife. And just like that, I mean, this sculpt is really cool for the head. We'll pop another hole in the other side of the shoulder blade here. Well, the other shoulder blade, I guess. I wonder if I can zoom a little bit. Properties. There we go, that zooms better. So now when I hold this up to here, well, that's much nicer. So now you should be able to see this. Well, that's a really nice sculpt. Come on, focus. There we go. That's gonna be super sick. Alright. So I got my holes punctured for the glue travel. And the other shoulder. Just like that. And then the head. He stands like this, so I want him looking towards where he's firing. Just like that. Put that one off to the side. For now. Somebody wants to stand up. Okay, that one is Dunsky. Now we have next is 10. Let's see. Grab some water real quick. We need B53 and B54. These are kind of cool because they've got like a little bit of a diorama base to the bottom of them. Oh yeah. I love the way that leg sculpt looks. I say that a lot. I say a lot that I love the way these sculpts look. But the reality is I'm a big fan of the grimdark, like really heavy metal stuff. It just is so sick. B53 and a B54. Not on the sprue, okay. It's not here. Ooh, where'd 54 go? Wouldn't be on these two sprues, I don't think, but... Interesting. I have 53 right here, but not 54. Unless I'm just not looking at these correctly, which I could be too. Definitely not here. Oh, right here. Clean these up a little bit. Again, I'll use my God hand scraper here just to clamp this little gate line. Just get smooth. Just like that. And like magic, it's gone. Now the other side, gotta get rid of this little gate piece in the bottom here. And again, we'll punch a little hole in the bottom here. Just to help the glue stick later. Get as central as we can. I might even put another hole there too. Quite a big hole, but that's fine. And another one just over here, just to say we did. There we go. That's 2. Perfect. And just make sure there's no gates here. None that are obvious are sprue lines. No, looks pretty good. It's a very, very well done. Okay. So, I'm actually going to clean this up just a little bit here. Just where I had to clip it. And pop a little hole in there just for sake thereof. I mean, this is already a key. There we go. We need this to fit really tight, so we want to be all around here. So I'm going to start from this side. Paying close attention to his butt and where the belt meets. I'm just blowing into those recesses, just like I normally do, just to help it find its way, just to get the glue into all the little spots. I apologize if it's shocking, or if the sound is just sudden. B55 and B142. 55 and 142. Let's try to find 142 first. Here it is. I was thinking a lot about these recently, and I think we landed on doing Chaos Undivided with these. But I was also thinking, like, I was looking at something called Sons of Malal, and I got really involved with the Chaos God Malice, like Malal, and I thought that was super cool. I don't know if I'm going to do it though, because the color scheme is very similar to just Black Templar, but it would have been... It's one of those things where I thought if I did it, I don't know how I'd approach it. And GW doesn't support it. It would be all homebrew, and I don't know if I could do homebrew right now. Not without going crazy. Not right yet, at least. I've got the back here, but I think the front. The front is 55. And 12. 55, here it is. just gonna throw some glue in here. Just set it in place, and again we'll do a little push and release, and just let the glue settle, create that extremely good weld that we want. And this time I'm going to pop a little hole right in the top of this key for the back here. I mentioned it last time and I thought, well, you know, might as well. Almost glued my fingers. Okay. Maybe I'll pop one in the back of this too. Just so it's a slightly deeper recess. Not necessary, but why not? Just see what happens. Probably nothing, but you never know. Sometimes little support structures help glue just kind of settle and help them all stay together slightly better. Again, do my little bit of a wiggle. Just move glue up and down, all around, and get it to settle, and do our press and our release and our press and our release. Put that there. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Okay, so I got, let's glue it in here now. Now I can choose between 10B and 10C. You know, we haven't done any units yet that have swords. I've been avoiding them for the most part and just doing bolters. Let's switch up a little bit. Let's do a sword. What do you think? Hell yeah, sword it is. C. Admittedly, it'd be nice not to drill out another barrel right now. Well, I'm still drilling out a barrel, but whatever. Okay, 57 and 56.
Bumping into trouble like a rebels where I came. See the flame shine bright. They were puzzled how I'm saved. I could never serve the passion or the fire or the man or for sight how I am. Ain't nobody asking, I've been basking in my liberty, cause slavery is real. Doesn't mean the shackles gotta be revealed. Fighting with my pen, that's the
57.
to steal, and they what they wanna steal.
56 has the sword.
We're juggling and wrestling the thoughts in my mind. The influence was heavy, all the faults even mine. They were still persuading like
56.
That my people ain't be dying over gold in the mines. It's funny, right?
There it is. Hey, it's got a shoulder pad too. Sweet.
What would hold me when I needed me a hug? That's the realest. Yeah, that's the closest thing to feeling. Yeah, it's the only thing revealing. Trying to get me.
It looks really sweet.
Maybe he can open up some doors.
I always really like the chain swords when they have this like the line on it.
Blessing in the chain, pictures I could paint. Yeah, it's poetry and pain.
And this looks cool too. It's got the thorns on it too. Alright, we're gonna clean this up a little bit.
Pictures I could paint. Yeah, it's poetry and pain. Blessings in the chain, pictures I could paint. No, I've been calling, been stalling, been falling. We go again.
Let's clean up sprue lines here. Just clean up this little back spot here. Just with our little magic sprue cutter. Then clean up just inside here. Okay, and then we have to clean up this one, which I have a little bit of a gate line here, but we'll clean up the gate. There we go. Buffalo Moo, hey, how's it going, homie? Long time no see. How you been? I've been working a lot more lately. Hope you're good though. I'm doing well. I appreciate that. We've just been hanging out here painting up. Well, sorry, not painting. We've been working on some Chaos Space Marines. I've been trying to keep up to date with doing 360 videos and keeping the work we do inside of the Discord to show off kind of how far we get with things. And so far it's been pretty good. Like, we've had really great work. We got through the Nexus Chaotica. We got through the Black Templar Razorback. That was really cool. We did a fantastic job on that one. Like, the bluing for the exhaust on the laser pistols, that looks really badass. Have you been able to get to any more cosplay? They do be looking amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I can't take all the credit. So Simple Dots, you better take some credit too. And Muffle Moo, you better pat yourself on the back. You guys have been a huge help. Right now I'm drilling out some barrels. How's your cosplay going? I've been sewing like a crazy lady for new con. Been learning to play Halo. Never played it before, and we're going in story order. So I played Reach first. That was rough. I have not played Reach. Gosh, I haven't played Halo in a very long time now. I played the Halo Online recently. like a couple years ago, but I used to play Halo 2 like crazy back in the day, and Halo 3, oh my god, I used to love Halo 3. I used to play the crap out of that. I remember we used to play Halo 2 using LAN servers, and we made our own LAN server, and that was really cool. It's like 16 of us. It was beautiful and amazing. I definitely love melee. It's so good. Like, meleeing with the pistol in Halo is so badass. It was always OP, and the pistol's like super OP too for a weapon. For whatever reason, it's like it one-shots. I don't know why. It's almost like a cheat code. I'm gonna drill out the sides here. Drill out the middle first, I guess. I might be able to live with the sword. I just beat the shit out of things. Oh yeah, the power sword. I had a chance to buy one of those at one point in time, and I almost did. But I couldn't justify it at the time. Same with the needler. I almost bought the needler. Just gonna drill through the sides of the barrel here. Meleeing with the sword is so OP, like, especially if you can get in close quarters. Back in the day, we used to play the original Halo a lot, and kind of our map of choice was Blood Gulch. And that's because we used to watch a lot of Red vs. Blue. We used to love watching Red vs. Blue, oh my lord. Maybe we'll watch some tonight after stream. I haven't seen Red vs. Blue in forever, like the machinima stuff. Remind me, I'm just blowing up my barrel. There we go. Looks pretty good. Put this up on camera here so we can see it together. Oh yeah. So what made you want to play Halo Reach out of the blue? Well, the Halo series, I guess. Listen, sorry, I got a bubble in it like a hole. Just gonna expand the hole a little bit. And also, are you streaming you playing Halo, or is it just playing it on the side? My wife really loves Halo and loves the Halo armor that came to Helldivers. Oh, nice. I said I had never played and then got sucked into playing them. I mean, that's not a bad reason. It's actually a really good reason. I might open it now. That's good the way it is. And then this one will just do the same. My friend was streaming us playing it. I want to stream the next one though. Definitely. Even though the armor will of course be pink, there'll be a flashbang. There's nothing wrong with pink armor. I think that's actually one of the armor choices you can choose as well for the Halo series is pink. Because they have like the whole spectrum of red, or at least most of the spectrum of red. Oh, why doesn't this arm want to stay in? Oh, I get it. It goes behind here. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Yo. Hello, Simple Dots. I like to be able to be spotted anywhere I'm standing. That's fair. I wear a lot of black, so I'm probably the opposite. Gonna grab something to eat. Transferring 20 gigs to dad. Holy crap, 20 gigs. Have fun, man. SimpleThoughts is currently in the process of setting up an SQL database, and it's just a lot of extra effort, like crazy amounts of effort to get done. So I can understand him taking a break to go get some food. That's okay, my wife is very southern country and wears a lot of brown and black and very bright. Can't lose in the store. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There we go. Like I said, I wear a lot of black. I wear black. I wear black with chains, and actually I've got a chain on right now with a little lock on it. I don't know if I can show it off, but I've always got that going, so you always hear me coming. That, and I wear a lot of hoodies. I've got these big like demonia boots, so I'm just stomping around kind of everywhere I go. You know, sometimes I've got the bike chain and a little leg harness and all the other stuff. Where to leave off? I was doing this one. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me coming up because my Crocs are bright yellow and squeak? like SpongeBob walking around. Just me waddling by. I used to wear Crocs around here. Now even though I wear all black, keep my feet off camera here. I've got these clogs I got from IKEA when I was in Toronto, and I love them. They've got like the material of like bath mats. I love to wear them. They're not too warm, but they're not too cold, and they absorb moisture really well. I think I paid like $2 for them. I need a head and a shoulder. So this one, DC is what we're on. I need one head and one shoulder. So they are very cursed. I love my toe shoes. My wife hates them. They're very cursed. Is she not a toe person? Okay, I think what I want to do is I want to do 123. No very much hates them as much as I think they are fun. Toes can be fun. I'm not a toe person personally, but when I've always wanted water shoes because I always thought they'd be funny just to leave like footprints literally everywhere you can go. I think I want this one too. What do you think? These two? This one and this one? I think toe shoes are weird but in a fun way. Yeah. I mean, to each their own, right? Those look cool. Alright. 123 and 102. So I'll put 1, 2, 3 and 102, just so I know. And I'm going to mark them off here on the screen. So it's fourth in and second last. Sweet. These ones again are 123, 102. I gotta find some fun socks, because all the socks I have are like, they've got like hot dogs and stuff on them, or like the ones I'm wearing now have like, they've got like vaporwave stuff on them. I really like to get some socks that have like heavy metal like words on them or whatnot. Here's on my shoulder pads. Where the hell is 102? Oh, it's right here. I don't think I ever asked you what you do for work. What do you do for work? If you don't mind me asking, of course. And don't feel pressured to answer if you feel like you don't want to answer. That's fine too. I'm just curious. Look for 123 and I can't find it. 124. Ow. $120. 119, 125. $129, okay, getting closer. None of those. Sometimes I need a second look because I'm very easily distracted, so I lose track of what I'm doing. Ah, there it is. Sand down the bottom. And then drill out a hole in the bottom. These guys are looking to look so cool when we're done. We have to get to 13. We're doing 4 Marines a day. So we did 4 yesterday. We're doing 4 today, that's 8. So by end of day Friday, we should be pretty up to speed, I would think. I'm gonna pop a hole over here. And all I'm doing is just making a hole so that when glue goes on, it'll have a place to build into, like a peg. There we go. Pop another. Well, I'm gonna clean up under here a little bit, I guess. So you said you're sewing like crazy. Is that for your sororita costume, or are you got another cosplay you're working on? Jeez. All little bits of plastic here just hanging around. Just like that. And then put some here. Put this guy's helmet here. Just make sure I understand where he stands when he's standing. It's for a new one. One of my friends asked me to match for one on the con days. Oh, nice. Are you able to discuss what it is, or is it a big secret? BB looks sick. What? Juliana and Lady Tsunade. I'm gonna dress up with as the man. Let me take a peek at what that looks like. Jiraiya. Oh, okay, I gotcha. That's gonna be fun. I love the headband so much with the little horns. Yeah. I was just looking at that too. What number are we at? Lost track to the work. No worries, man. We're still on the same one that you left off on. Actually, we just finished it. So we're at how many Marines? I should keep a number of Marines that we have on screen here. We just finished 2 today. Oh, wait, did we? Oh, no, did we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we do 5 or 4 or 2 today? No, we did 3 so far. Wait, have we done 3 Marines so far? No way. Oh my god, we did 3 Marines today so far. Because we did him earlier. I remember. We just did him as well. And then this guy. That's 3 Marines. Holy shit. Dude, that's awesome. We did 4 yesterday. We've got 3 so far. We're only at 215. Oh no, he's losing his mind. I get into a mode where I just start cutting and gluing and scraping, and I build momentum fast. So I tend to lose track of what it is I'm doing. Wow. Holy crap, 3 of them in one day. That's awesome, guys. I'm gonna say that's thanks to you guys keeping me from going crazy. That's a huge help. Damn. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, that's... You know what? That is 3. Because we did 1 here, 1 there. That's... Yeah. Look at us. Holy shit. That's awesome. Guys, we are knocking it out of the park here today. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, All right, I'm excited. I'm very excited now. I was excited before, but I'm very excited now. All right. For 11, we get to choose either the flame or the one that has like the bandolier of like bullets. So what are we thinking? Do we want to go 1 or 2? Great progress. So you finished Legionaries. Yes. And I'm excited to get to Legionaries, and I'm excited to get to the Possessed. The Possessed look really cool. A little preview of the Possessed here. They're like, can't really get them on screen, but I'll try. They're these guys. They look so badass. But for now, let's choose between 1 or 2. What do we think? Should we flip a coin? Should we, I can leave it up to you guys to help me decide if you want. I think, what do I think? What do I think? What do I think, guys? I think... I mean, there's no advantage in either direction, because when it comes to the tabletop, I'll say it's this or that. Oh, gosh. The flamer would be kind of fun to paint, but also the bandolier looks really cool. I'll say, give me a minute. I'll be right back because I just have to run to the bathroom real quick. But I'll come back and then we'll decide then. Hey, I'm back now. Sorry about that. Okay. Cilantro. Okay. Waffled, if you're still here, I'll give you an opportunity to speak and voice your opinion. What do you think, this one or this one? Although I'm not sure you're here. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I think that's the way to go. What I'll do is I'll get these two parts started. The 94 and 95. I choose one for my assembly. Nice. NR1. Yeah. I like one. Let's do one. I chose NR1. Okay. There we go. I had a... Uh-oh. 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 Huh. This is interesting. I had a hobby blade here. Oh, it's right here. Oh, thank God. I thought I lost my hobby blade. Oh, God. I was concerned there for a second. I was looking for it and went, where's my hobby blade? Very bad with losing knives. And the whole of my apartment is themed in black. Most of my electronics are black already by default. And most of the things I own are black. Phone cases, phones, couch, excuse me, table. And I like it because I'm a creative, so having spaces where things that have color are really helps it a lot. The problem is that some of my tools, if not most of my tools, are black as well. So I tend to lose a lot of everything. Every time I turn around, I've lost something. I can be really bad for that. Just gonna drill into the foot here so that when I glue it later, it'll hold on to it really well. I was just gonna clean up the sprue lines on this guy too. And I'll clean up just this back panel too. So 20 gigabytes, is that on hardwired connection or is that on wireless? I'm assuming it's hardwired, knowing you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just kind of funny. Oh yeah, that's good. Let's just smooth out the bottom of the foot. Wired, but download over VPN tunnel. Oh my god! Yeah, I see you're running probably about half speed then. That's why I need WireGuard. Absolutely. It looks like this would be pretty easy to go in. I'm going to punch a little hole in this though. It's starting to get cold in here. Probably because I have the door closed. I'm on Linux right now since I got so many problems with Windows and the Windows 10 supported. Yeah, so I'm also using Linux. I'm using Linux for OBS. And I've got a couple other things on as well. I prefer Linux. When I was a developer, we used Ubuntu. I always recommend switching to Linux as desktop. Yes, it runs so light. There's so little bloatware. It works really nicely. I haven't had very many problems with Linux yet. And you can install it literally on anything. I'm someone who likes to recommend Linux as well. Any flavor is good. Not a fan of Arch Linux just because I've had trouble trying to install it in the past, but I'm an Arch. Catchy OS, to be specific. Yeah, that's fair. There's nothing wrong with Arch. I struggled to install it, so I just gave up on it. Of course, that was way back in the day. And since then, I've moved over to Ubuntu. Just because I was part of the Ubuntu Street team when they were first distributing it. So I had a bunch of DVDs or CDs lying around with the OS on it. I've used Gentoo. Wasn't super fond of Gentoo. Yeah, the basic art is just so much of a pain to install. Yeah. Like the bare bones stripped down Arch can be. I think the weirdest Linux distro I've ever used was one called DSL, which stands for Damn Small Linux. And I ran it off of a USB stick back when you could still get viruses on Windows 7. And that was back when I was using the Hiren's boot disk to do repairs to the family computer and stuff like that. Someone would go get a virus inevitably, and then it's up to you to go in and sort of mitigate that. And then I used to like Damn Small Linux because I could run it right off the USB stick and then get like ClamWin or something, and or ClamV, and then go download the latest database for it and immediately just like run a whole virus scan and clean up the drive. It was super handy. I still have one PC with Windows XP if I'll ever need it. Service Pack 3 for Windows XP. I know some people left theirs on Service Pack 2. I have a Windows PC in the other room that's running Windows 10. Always Service Pack 3, yeah. Some people use Service Pack 2. I don't know why. I think it's because it's good POS support. 9897. If we're doing this, it's 9897. The one and only. Yeah. It's the end of life support on it, which is just really nice. You could tell they really liked running Windows XP a lot. Yeah, I got a Windows 10 PC sitting in the other room, but it's just such a pain in the ass to get up and going. Or rather, it's not hard to get going. I just turn it on and it's good, but I need a keyboard and a mouse. I've got a keyboard and mouse, and I need a monitor, and then I have to sit with it on the whole time, and you mean heartbreaking? Yeah. That's true. XP, when they did end of life on it, was heartbreaking for many people, but it was exciting because Windows 7 was supposed to be the next big thing, and then it just wasn't. And then Windows 8 was supposed to be the next big thing, and it kind of was for a little while. But Windows 10 was the real next place up for them. And then they ended that shortly. Moved on to Windows 11. I won't even touch Windows 11. I have no use for it, no utility. And really, I only have like a Windows PC just to play video games on. Even though I don't play that many video games to begin with anyway. I think the last video game I played on PC was the one where you dig a hole. And that's just because, as being a man, it just fulfilled a part of my life I never knew I had, which was just digging holes. Windows 11 is horrible. My family uses it, and at least once a month I get a call that something broke. Yeah, that tracks. My mom uses Windows 11, and I'm not a fan of it because every now and then, I can't get my email. That's because you've been using the same email client that was available on Windows XP, and I'm surprised I have it working for this long. That's true. She uses this like, oh my god, what's it called? Something mail, Incredimail, and it's just like. It has like a butler that comes out and it goes, "Your mail is ready, madam." And it's like, okay. B100, B99. Let's see here. 199. There's 100. That's good. And, yeah. And inevitably, every time she gets a new PC, I get asked, "Can you transfer it over?" And I go, "Well, I can try." And I keep explaining to them that, hey, this thing ended support back in 2005. Like, your mail servers don't really do POP3 anymore. They still do, but like, it's been forever. They've all moved over to like IMAP, or sorry, they've moved away from IMAP to whatever the new standard is. 99. Nice. That was easy to find. but they like the way they are. And I can't blame them. If I was always getting my mail client used for the new PC, I would want it that way every time too. And of course I keep giving it to them, so. Devil's in the design, right? Devil is in the design. The new thing is, because I have security cameras on the house, I set them up with an RTSP server so they could watch the security cameras using VLC. But because the nature of the RTSP server, every now and then it'll change IP addresses. So I'll get a call, 10 o'clock at night. Hey, I can't access the camera. Okay, try changing the IP address. Oh yeah, that worked. Okay. And I set it up with a playlist in VLC too, so it would automatically go to the next one, but sometimes if it doesn't catch it right away, it doesn't go to the next one, so I sort of have to play it by ear and be the family IT guy. My dad used to do this thing too, where he'd loan me out to other people and he'd say, oh, he knows how to work with computers. And inevitably I'd get an iPad from someone and they'd say, oh, I can't get onto my email, or I can't get into my, what do you call it there? Can't get into Skype. And I'd have to explain, well, yes you can, it's still here. I'll tell you the biggest one was, it was an older couple who were from Greece. And so they speak Greek. But they didn't really ever learn English. So, same here, if you get into IT, you just start to be treated as generic PC port. That's right, 100%. Hey, I bought a new PC part, can you put it in? No, because it doesn't fit. Every now and then my dad will ask me, he's getting an all-in-one PC, and he'll say, oh, I wish I could upgrade the what do you call it there? The hard drive. And I go, well, you kind of can. Well, yeah, but I can't put another one in. Well, yeah, but why would you want another one? Why wouldn't you just want a bigger one? Well, because I want more storage space. Too bad I can't upgrade the graphics card. Yeah, that's true, you can't. What do you need a new graphics card for? Well, I just want one. Every time. Every time. And then my mom plays those Facebook games. I hate those things. Facebook games. Because I get asked all the time, hey, how can we make the Facebook games run faster? You can't, it's on a website. I updated the cache. I changed the cache so she could have more VRAM. Everything. Like, there's only so much you can do. And I explained, it's up to the developer to optimize their game. The game she plays is that, egg hatching game, and it's like, you don't need a better GPU for this. It's just a in-browser game. And I have to explain, the reason why your computer's going slow is because it's out of date, it's out of support, it's old. So a new computer fix it? No, that won't necessarily fix it. And they just jump to conclusions, right? So I'm always trying to explain, hey, the thing you want to do is, it's not super hard. Here's how you do it. And then I do it for them, and it's good for a week or two. And then, they don't defrag old drives. They, I don't know. That's true. Modern games are shit optimized. It's 100% true. Especially when it's a web-based game, instead of a game you download. If it was a game you download and it was terrible, I'd be okay, here's how you can fix that. But because it's a web-based game, it's man, it's not going to get any better, even if I do something here. Of course, if you say no, then they assume that you just don't want to help. So, you end up helping anyway. look at RuneScape, it started as web-based, if I remember correctly. It did. And I thought it still was. I could be wrong. Because that's how I played it, was web-based. And I used to love that aspect that I could just sign in literally anywhere and play it. Now it's only client-based? Ugh, that sucks. The fact that it was web-based was what made it so accessible. But I suppose they don't really have support for Java in the browser as much as they used to. I mean, they do because of JavaScript, but like, it's slightly different now. You used to be able to get away with a lot of stuff way back in the day. I don't know if you remember it, but Macromedia Flash. Ugh. That was a trip. Many times we used to write scripts in Macromedia Flash because we were writing, we were doing animation and you want some cool stuff to happen, so you'd write some script to happen, like buttons or, loading bars or getting the data pushed into RAM, and it was a lot of fun, and then you could make games and stuff, but then Macromedia went under because Adobe bought them and they ended Flash support, and I miss it. A lot of heavy load for those types of games. Flash games are awesome. Oh my god, they were so good. They were so good, man. It was the Wild West of the internet, really. What were we doing? The thing that killed it, and I'll be honest, the thing that killed Flash games was that it loaded everything into your RAM, and you could decompile Flash games. So if you had a Flash game with some malicious script, it would run even if you weren't still connected to the website. That's what killed it. I miss those times. Me too. Me too. Some of those games are still around, like Papa's Pizzeria, or like cool math games. Glue my fingers up here. The arms don't want to stay on. But those games are ported into standalone games, I think. Most of them are. Some of them have been adapted. Like Papa Louie and Papa's Pizzeria and stuff have been adapted to new websites. Just so they have continued support. Which is funny because I think the Papa Louie games are like one dude doing the whole thing. Oh, don't fall off. There we go. Almost lost the marine. How's it supposed to fit? Oh, I see. Okay. This is gonna be funny trying to fit these on. Oh, man. definitely grew up in that era where people played flash games. Sometimes for sport, like QWOP, the VOD game. Sneak a little glue in there. I don't know if you ever played QWOP back in the day, but if you did, it just was so mind-melting. Played a lot of VOD games. I think the most recent one was I played Baby Steps on the PlayStation. That was a lot of fun. Oh, I'm cold. My hands are cold. 137. We had a site called Game Island in Polish, which had a whole lot of flash games. Nice. I made a clone of Space Invaders once, and what I did was I found a website where they had a copy of Space Invaders made. And the terminology back then on Newgrounds used to be called blamming. So Blam Invaders is what I called it, and I just changed the assets around so it looked like something else. And that got posted in a lot of places unintentionally. But it was fun because the important thing I took away from it was that you could decompile flash games. That was important. And you could stick stuff in them instead. And I did that a couple times. There were some flash games I found that other people had posted, and I decompiled them. When I decompiled them, I found like photographs that people had put in them for like other people or secrets, and the script was there as well. And so you could figure out how to trigger different things. And I realized how dangerous they could be if you could do that. And that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of getting into software. Because I loved writing software at that point. After that. How would you spell Game Island in Polish? Like if you didn't translate it to English. Just gonna sand this down a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit of sanding, just to smooth it out some. Same with inside of here. Just to sand up where I ran the knife. Vispelgier. Okay. I think I pronounced that terribly. I apologize. Right on. I love games when I look at them. Okay. I mean, that tracks, it's semantically. And I can see that. There's a lot of sites that did things like that. A lot of interesting names. I wonder if that site's still around. I don't know if I need this. Let's create a pinhole. is. It is. Oh my gosh. Give me a second. I'm gonna go look this up then. WISPA gear. Is that Rome? This is Rome. Oh my god. Vispagear.pl. Oh my god. This looks exactly like... Yeah, this looks exactly... Oh my god, there's like new games on it? Holy crap. That's awesome, dude. I'm gonna play some of these games after stream, probably. That's incredible. I'm kind of hyped because Cool Math Games, I think that's still around. I think that's still around. Oh my god, it's still around! Hell yeah! CoolMathGames.com. Not sponsored. Most people really get bound by nostalgia. So many people reserve such things. That's understandable. You know, in North America, we kind of have this attitude of, you know, move on and on to the next thing. Yours is more modern. It is. That's the thing, is that our version of nostalgia is much different from probably your experience with nostalgia. Where your experience with nostalgia, I feel like, is we need to preserve this and where it's at in this state and time and just continue to use it this way. Ours is improve it, make it new, make it look different because we need to make money off of it. Which, whatever, right? Like, what's a good example of that? I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they were called Tamagotchis. They were like a little virtual pet you'd take with you. And you would, basically the premise of it is you try to keep it alive. It was a toy. And when we were kids, inevitably people would accidentally kill them or forget to feed them or whatever, proving that no one should have pets. Why choose something that works? Just keep it that way. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the best way to keep nostalgia, is just to keep the thing that you love alive. And in North America, what we do is we rebrand it or bring it back out again and try to resell it. That's the big thing that happens in industry now, especially, is you'll find things like Wizards of the Coast are remaking Magic cards, or they're making new Magic cards rather. They're based off of series because they know their audience is millennials, people my age, in their 30s. In my infinite wisdom, because we have money now, and we will purchase into their card games and their things. So what they try to do is they try to sell us back our childhood. So instead of preserving it and reselling it to us, much like even how the Japanese do it, where they just put the games out again, or re-release them, whatever the case is, and change nothing, which would be nice. Instead, what happens is that in North America, we remarket it, and we do some minor change to it to make it worthwhile. Alright, we're ready for this guy's head and shoulders. We have all the pinning spots ready. So, what can we do here? We need one head and two shoulders. I think this one's good, 126. So I'm gonna write down, where is this one going? Right here. 126, and then we need 2 shoulders. So the commissar had asked me to use B8, so we're going to use B8. And then the last one, it can just be any one of these, maybe 103. Oh, I gotta mark that off. 103. Nostalgia is very, very powerful, and they realize that in North America. That's why they try to resell it all the time. Reminds me, I need to update this on the line here. So the ones I just added were 8, 126, 103. Three. Second to last. Here we go. System update required. Okay. We were talking about Linux earlier. They do, but many people get the same feeling as back then. Not many people, yeah. Some people just move on. They're able to move on. I'm not one of those people. I tell people all the time, and my truth in my life is dictated by one exact issue. I am forever stuck mentally in the 1990s. What does that mean? It means that the music I enjoy, the movies I know everything about, the video games I play, the style, the food, are all from 1990. I'll remake dishes from the 90s. I'm very nostalgic. I'm very apt to know everything that was happening in the 90s, even politics, different like styles and aesthetics. I am absorbed by it to a degree that I kind of lose face with reality at times. I'm so absorbed by the 90s. That doesn't mean I'm not present now, but it means that given the option between something from 1990 and something from today, I'm going to choose something from 1990. 1990 to the year 2001. I would say 1989 to 2001. Number 8. B8. Where's 8? Right up here. Very cool sculpt. Very skull based. Maybe hard to see because I have other things on camera here. Super cool. I'm more like stuck in 2000 since here kind of came late in some ways. You know, I was thinking that too. I want to say a couple of years ago. Along those lines, I mean, not specifically that thought, but along those lines is that I know that there's like a transition that happens. I know in Germany they had the falling of the Berlin Wall in the 90s, right? And so what happened is that everything that happened in the 80s finally came over to Germany in the 90s. I know European countries, we could, like you guys kind of get everything that we get, but later. And in Canada, we get everything that the United States gets, but later. So it's sort of interesting that like a musician will come out in the United States and they'll be popular almost immediately. And then down the line, it'll come to Canada like a year or two later, maybe even 5 years later, after it's already been discovered and been interesting and gone its course and people have already seen it and had their time with it. And then after we've seen it, it'll go to Europe. But what's interesting is that because things in Europe progress in their own time at times, without our interaction, like it's not just spillover, right? When things come that way, yeah, we got lately to all the things since we had communism in the early 90s. Really? That late? I mean, that makes sense. I should know that. But that's still interesting. That is still really interesting. I'm not a fan of communism. I'll say that. I don't want to get into politics, but I'm not a fan of communism or what happened with it or the way that people ended up being treated as a result of it. But I find interesting the way that things ended up being done as a result of communism. And how life kind of was. I'm always interested in life around the rest of the world, right? Like, I'm interested in how people live in Japan, how they get along, how they do things. I'm interested in, like, even in Spain or Italy, like what's it like to go to work? What's it like to go get groceries? June 4th, 1989 was the end of communism in Poland. Wow. That's almost a year after I was born. I was born November 3rd, 1988. In Ontario. I have to remember that. I have to keep the theme. Yeah, that's crazy. 103. I can't find 103. Did I already use 103? Did I forget to mark it off? Did I mark off the wrong thing? Did I? Ooh, maybe I did. I'm gonna give one last look to see if there's anything cut from the sprue here for 103. Yeah, I already used 103. Okay. Well, at least everything is kind of fine. Yeah. Post-communism, things take a very long time to balance again. I'm not an expert in it by any means, by any stretch of the mean. I used one of these. I don't know which one I used. Was it 113? No, we marked that off earlier. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Okay, let's go with B9 then. We'll call it B9. Almost, yeah. I mean, there's still going to be people who live in the mindset, right? That still want to think and want to be part of the way things were. And that's because it benefited them to some way, or because it was familiar to them. I mean, everyone's nostalgic in different ways, right? And sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's less helpful. But it just depends on the person, right? And like, the way of life doesn't necessarily change overnight. It's, again, I come back to the Berlin Wall. Like, when that went down, people in Berlin were still doing things the old way. Life back then seemed easier and less stressful, yes. And I think that's why I'm nostalgic for the 90s as well, is that when I was a kid in the 90s, in North America, gas was like 35, 40 cents a liter. Like, that's unheard of. 35 cents a liter? Holy crap. Like, what were we doing? How is it that cheap? And it just was. We had less, but we were happier, I think. It's true. When you have less, you become happier. I don't want to say that all the time, though, because I enjoy having the things I have now. But there was a time when the internet was less prevalent, and you had to connect in different ways. And the big thing was that we didn't have online shopping in the 90s. I mean, we did, but it was extremely niche. Like, you had to be wealthy and willing to risk your credit card information at any given time. And, you know, people bought weird things online. That's what we understood. But then Amazon came around and changed kind of the whole global infrastructure for things. And so it became very easy to share information. And I sort of miss the days where information was sort of scarce, if that makes any sense. all the inflation caused, like you think you have more, but compared to back when you had a lot less, it's true. When people had less, and when information wasn't as easily shared, inflation was very little. And that's because it still was happening, but people were able to rebel locally in a meaningful way. People didn't just have the ability to sit and watch, they had to compete with those problems and interact. Once again, the falling of the Berlin Wall, right? Like, people of Berlin really did not like the wall, but they had to deal with it, and then once it was able to come down, it came down. But now we have the global information superhighway. Information is very easily shared, and you end up with a lot of scenarios where people just sit and watch. You know, they wait to see what the result's going to be. You know, we did have inflation back in the 90s, that's true. Like, you didn't have much of a choice what you were paying for things, but it was understood this is just the way things is. And you would argue with your boss to get more money, or whatever the case is, or they weren't aware how much things could be charged, so they just didn't charge more, right? Like, the movie Falling Down, there's a scene where the main character goes into, and this is not a great movie for a lot of references, but for this example it's pretty good, where he goes into a convenience store to try and get change to use the cell phone, or to use the phone that's outside, the payphone. Or like, people really rejected the communism. That's why there was the Berlin Wall to begin with. That's true. They did not want communism. The communism was hard on a lot of people. I have a friend from Ukraine, and her family moved here, 8-10 years ago. And they moved because they wanted to get away from the way things were in Ukraine, because they were still slightly communist even at that point, before the whole conflict happened. And they lived in kind of not the Donbass region, but the Odessa region. And she said it was hard because a lot of people got away with kind of their own thing, because it was almost like a police state all the time. And I feel bad for her, because that's how she grew up. But to her it was fine. To her it was great. Like, you couldn't watch anime because people made fun of you, and there was a lot of expectations for women then too. And she used to love anime, right? Just putting some shoulder pads on this guy now. But even then, she still remembers the 90s and still remembers living in Ukraine during the hard times, and it's still being fine, because even when her family struggled, it was still special to her. Around the time Russia attacked Crimea, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And so it's, but then again, the thing I mentioned as well is that even in times of war, and this is what's interesting to me from a perspective, is that if you're a child and you're in war, it can still be hell. It can still be terrible. It can still be the worst experience. Like, you would not want children to go through some of this stuff. And unfortunately, is that even if they do go through it, when they come out, they still have good memories, and the good memories are what's nostalgic about it, right? It's so unfortunate, but also it could be really, really pleasant, because you remember the times that you're around your family. And for me, that's what the 90s was I was around my family a lot. We had money because things were a lot easier and a lot cheaper. Inflation wasn't as bad. We could go on trips to go here or there because you just sort of enjoyed your time together in those ways. Excuse me, this guy's done. And oh no, I got marker on my finger. And the more time you spent with each other was important. Like having your kids around when they're young is very formative for them. It's very impactful. And as you get older, when you start moving different directions, you kind of look for those times when you had time with your family, when you go learn to play hockey or go enjoy being outside, or the times when you felt safer because the people around you were keeping you safe, even when it wasn't safe. I mean, that's the thing that people say all the time is, I remember being a kid and feeling safe in this whatever. And the truth is that you felt safe because someone else was making sure you were safe. Not just the government or your local government. Sometimes it was your parents, right? But we do forget about that sometimes. It took me a while to remember that too, because I was one of those people that said, hey, I remember a time when there was a time in Canada where you didn't have to lock your doors. But I'll tell you who ruined that was drug dealers, because they would introduce these narcotics to the streets because they're always looking for the next way to make money, right? And of course, people are always looking to get their next fix. Okay, we got a couple options here for the, sorry, moving right along to number 12. That's what I mean to say. We're moving along to 12 now. And we have a couple options here. Now, I already used this knife head somewhere because it's interchangeable, so I'm not too worried. But these are legionaries, and we can do chaos icons. Also, I think I'll never forget when I was going on vacations to my grandparents in rural areas. Yes. Oh my God, yes. So my grandmother used to live below me. I currently live in the apartment that she used to live in, ironically. And I had another set of grandparents that lived outside the city, and I used to love going out there. There's just something so magical when you're a kid, when your grandparents just have this trust of, they'll be fine. And you go out into the woods, or you go out and play in the grass and just be outside. That was so much fun. This guy's gonna get the legionary piece because I think it looks really cool. I'm gonna have a couple combat patrol options here. I want him to have this legionary piece, and the way we attach this, we just glue it on. Cool. Okay. So I want 12E, which is this legionary piece. So the way that I'm understanding that, the way this works, is that you have to start 12A, and then you deviate to E. Because here it's A to B, and then you deviate to D, or A to C. So that semicolon must mean a deviation, meaning you take a different path once you get so far. So I'm going to start with B21 and 20, which might not be on screen. I apologize if it's not. Yeah, it's just barely on screen. B21 and 20. It was always fun going to grandparents' houses because they always had candy. And when you're a kid, candy is like better than anything else in the world. Or they've got like the weird good food. And so I've sort of subscribed to this idea that because I'm somebody's uncle now, that it's now my goal to make it as comfortable for these kids and give them the same experiences that I had as a kid. I want them to have candy. I want them to have a safe place to go play. I want them to see, videos that are fun to watch. I want them to have toys and games. And it's so important. I had old instructions in my combat patrol. Didn't have those deviations. Nice. Old instructions are kind of funny. I was doing the Nexus Chaotica, and it came with black and white instructions. It's like they printed off a printer. It was sort of funny. The instructions were really old. Which I didn't expect for Nexus Chaotica because I thought it was a relatively new piece. But I guess it's been around since like 3rd edition for AOS. Just sanding down some of the edges here. I think the sculpt is old. It must be because some of the sprue lines are sort of tired and used. That's something I found was interesting that I found out recently, actually. Just on the topic of sprue lines, was the Gundam factory has this problem, and this is how they fix it, and I think Games Workshop has this problem as well, is that you only get like maybe 20 or 30,000 impressions on a 2-part mold, and then you have to bring in a new one because the metal warps over time. It's big blocks of aluminum, but once they're done with it, it just kind of gets warped. And I wondered about that because I was able to buy on AliExpress, the Chinese website, I was able to buy a repressing of some older, unit pieces. And I thought, that's interesting. Why would they, how would they have access to that? They'd have to recarve it perfectly. But I think they either stole or bought or got their hands on the older impressions somehow, and they're recasting them. And then it's just PLA, right? It's just polylactic acid or ABS that they're using for the plastic. So they just, press them together and injection mold it. Oh man, I'm getting cold, getting chilly. I might have to open my door later. Commissar will be off to work here in about 10 minutes, I think. B20 9021. Can you believe this? We're gonna get like 4.5 models in today. That's crazy good. Considering we started with 4 yesterday. And we started late today. I mean, holy crap. And I'll try to get the VOD out on time today too. I just barely got the VOD, the video on demand out yesterday. Just gonna carve a little hole here. Just for the glue to go into. I don't know if these pilot holes that I'm drilling help, but they make me feel good, so I'm just gonna keep doing them. If there's anything you ever want to see up close, let me know and I'll bring it up to the camera. Just gonna glue, just gonna press and release and press and release and just keep building that welt with the glue. Trying to make it soupy almost, so when it finally presses together, it flattens out. And that way you just get a blur. It won't be perfect, but it'll look like a blur between the two halves. Okay, next is piece number 22. It's right here. And this will be our first Legionary with a Chaos icon. So I'm pretty excited to build a Legionary here. Reminds me, I still need to work out today too. And once again, squish it around a little. And then press, release, and press, and release. Again, it might be one of those things that just makes me feel good, but makes me feel good. I don't know if it helps or works better, but it makes me feel like I don't see the sprue lines or the halves anymore, like they're just one full piece of armor. Just like that. I'll put this guy over here just so we can keep track of our 4 that we did today, 4.5 that we did today. Okay, so 12A to deviate to E. So we need 133 is what it's saying. Which means that instead of following the B, we go straight to 133, which is on 12E. I have to say, these are the clearest instructions I've gotten yet. And I'm very thankful because I thought this would be a much more arduous task than it is. Like, this is not impossible. This is not scary by any means. Just gonna clean this up a little. Oh, excuse me. Clean this up some. And then same for this side. That's just a little sprue line there. No big deal, just use the rounded part. And then a little bit of this. So in Poland, I'm curious, I've got kind of perception that like the city centers look really nice there. Do you kind of live in town or on like the outskirts of town? I'm just carving up these a little bit just so I can get rid of these sprue lines on the dots. Because I live in sort of the city center. I live in like the suburbs almost. I was living in one of the main cities on the coast, but moved 40 kilometers into more rural areas. Very nice. That's the dream, is getting a nice house just out in some rural area, sorry, where you can just sort of settle down and have some privacy and relax. What was I doing here? What was I doing here? I wanted to glue this on, I think. Yeah, it must have been what I was aiming to do. Oh no, that's what it was. I was going to use this. There we go. My brain's firing on all cylinders. It's getting to be the end of the day, so I'm just sort of blah. You know, I'm just sort of tired. I got my caffeine, so my hands are starting to get cramped up. There, that's good. I'll throw some glue on this. Just sort of push and wiggle and wiggle and wiggle. There we go. Just sort of blowing the glue around. Showing it who's boss, you know. There we go. Now I get a legion symbol. So I can either do the chaos symbol for undivided, or I can do the Eye of Horus. I sort of like the Eye of Horus a little bit more. Legion symbol is pretty cool though. Yeah, I don't know, because I kind of like the chains on the Eye of Horus. Yeah, I like the chains on the Eye of Horus. And that way if I ever decide to go 30k colors, I can do 30k on this. Just sand down the skull a little bit. Not a lot. Just to get rid of the gate marker that was there. Use the sanding part that isn't shiny. Or covered in glue. There we go. Same for this side. Just a little bit of friction should clean it up. There we go. And I'm just going to clean up the sprue line up here on top. Not that most people will see it, but for me it'll be in the back of my mind. And then a little bit there, and then a little bit there, and then that part's fine. I just need to glue it on top. Oh man, how do they expect me to glue this on top? Oh, that's awful. I used 133, but they want me just to glue it in space here. But if you look, there's like, I don't know if I could show it on camera here, but I'll try. There's like a little bit of space between the two parts. Oh gosh, don't focus on that part, guys. I'll try and get it here. Maybe hard to see, but there's a little space between the two pieces. It's like they didn't anticipate that someone would actually glue it. Oh, I see what's wrong. Yeah, I see what's wrong. Okay, that's fixable. So the problem here is that there's just a little too much material beside where the tiny skulls are, leading straight down to where it connects to the armor. So I'm just going to reduce some of that material on both sides. Not a lot, just a little bit. I might be a little aggressive with the knife with it just because I have to get it down. I'm just gonna keep trimming until we get it. It's a little closer. I'm gonna have to go directly to where it is. There we go. That side's good. Now this side I'll reduce a little bit as well. Oh, frig. Okay. That's fixable. I stressed it too much and pushed the knife up and cut the skull up. Don't push it down. And we'll just be gentle and just let it dry. We'll just cut a little off the inside of this piece anyway. Oh man, please stay on. Okay. Just gently wiggle the knife and then slice. Wiggle and slice. That should keep it there. And shouldn't cut it up anymore. And then down here just wiggle and slice. Wiggle and slice. And try not to break the skulls off. I'm off to work. Which little guy got B8? The guy we just did actually. This guy with, I'll let that try for a second there. With the great big weapon here. If it'll focus. He got B8. So I'm super hyped to have that. Right now, trying not to cut off a skull by mistake here. Because I accidentally sliced it upwards. We're so close to getting it to sit perfectly. So I'm going to try and truss this again. I'm just going to curve and keep my finger here, because if I bleed, that's... Oh, don't cut off! This is a terrifying process. Why would GW do this? He got boosters. Don't cut yourself. I can't do a supply drop. I know you can. Just trust me. Okay, that fits now. So we're just gonna glue it. Before I go bananas and accidentally cut myself. Because holy moly, And I'm absolutely terrified. Please glue. Please glue. We're gonna be holding this for a minute here. Correction. We're gonna be pulling this straight up, turning it around, facing it the correct way, and then holding it there. Hey, you know what? That kind of worked. We are going to put a touch bit more glue in there though, because that skull looks like it wants to come off. And I don't want that skull to come off. Okay. Touch a bit more glue in there. This is very nerve-wracking. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna let that sit. Things said in the battlefield. Yeah. Give it a little rotate. There, please just sit. Please don't fall off. Okay. Let that settle. Okay. Okay, we got 20 minutes left in the stream here. I'm going to clap the glue for now. There. Okay, we're going to come back to this tomorrow. Even though all we have left is arms, shoulders, and head. But we still got 4.5 Marines in today, which is fantastic. So I'm super excited for the progress pics to go up today as well. We got a lot done. We got talking about a lot, but we got a lot done. My hands are freezing. So today we got 1, 2, 3 with a sword. Cool. 4.5, which I'm not going to touch because he's waiting for the glue to settle. Marines in at one time. That's super cool, if you ask me. That's pretty good. We'll still have to glue them in bases, but we have everything ready for pinning and for, getting ready to go onto those bases. And I wanted to do a 360 shot of all the guys that we worked on today. Because I want to have a shot of them in gray, and then a shot of them primed, and then a shot of them with the color on them. And I'm super excited to do that, like, transitional shot where we go from one to the other and show off where it is we left off. That's gonna be really cool. I feel like that's gonna be really, really cool. But we had a good stream today. I mean, we got through, good lord, we got through, we're up to 10 of these Marines done. Like, that's awesome. Well, maybe not 10, but 9. 9 still. 10 if you count this guy, I guess. I mean, that's fantastic numbers. And that's 2 days. Three days worth of work. That's 3 days. That's awesome. And that's assembly. This would have taken me weeks to months before. It's not too windy out, so you should be able to prime too. I'm not going to prime until I get these all kind of done. But otherwise I would. But we're making great progress. Great. Yeah, exactly. I'm super hyped. I'm going to have to clean my desk today too, to get all these like bits off and all this like sliced up plastic that I put here. Cap the knife before I forget. There. Tool's great. Very dangerous though, especially in my hands. Yeah, I'm super excited for where we are right now, and I'm even more excited to go to the next step with this. Oh no, is my Dual Brown dried out? A little. Okay, I gotta cap that correctly. There. Still good. we've got some new stuff on stream here. We've got our chart to show where we are with these heads and with the shoulder pads. So I'm really excited to have that up there. And we have our sprues. So we still have to go through our legionaries and our possessed. And I'm excited to get through them as well. Possessed especially because the legionaries look like they're going to be really cool. Lots of bruised skin and lots of like opportunity to do things like cuts and flayeds and things like that. But the possessed are also going to have a lot of that going on as well, and that's going to be super badass when we get there. They just look really disfigured and bony, and it just I love the body horror behind it. Pretty cool techniques we're going to do in this time too. I've got some wire here, so expect at some point in time we'll be doing some like lightning and things shooting from different areas. That's going to be really cool to look at. Once I find the end of the wire here, wherever that is. Yeah, I'm not worried about it today. But we will be using that to get some pretty cool effects. And then we'll still have to base some of these guys too, so I'm expecting probably another week's worth of work on this. If we get tired, we might switch over to something else, but for right now it's this. The other thing I have on stream here that I want to do eventually is I want to work on the Knight. I have a Knight Questoris I've done in Black Templar armor. It started. And that's what I want to finish because it's a bigger project, and you know, lots of small projects are good, but a big project would be really nice to finish as well. I also have some orcs I got at one point in time, so I'm going to be bringing the orcs out too, and we're going to have fun with them and get them painted. I haven't really got a lot. Well, I've got some paints for that paint scheme and for that area, so we're going to be using some of that, like Gut Ripper Flesh and, you know, Moot Green and even some like warp lighting. Like that stuff's going to be really cool in there. And you know, I've got other colors too, like Calibite Green, which is just a really nice like green to use. As always, I'm going to post progress pics on the Discord, and then we'll do a 360 like I said first, and then we'll do 360 painted after the fact, so that later on you can see the comparison between the two. And I haven't forgotten, this is going to be the Symbol Dots mini. I'm going to write that down now. And what I'll do is later on, I'll write that better in our old English text that we did for the Razorback. And I'll write that both on the bottom and on the side, just so we can see it a little bit more clearly. The side might be a little challenging, but I'll try. Alright. I don't really like to end stream too early, but I do have to go to the bathroom, and we're coming up on time anyway. I feel like now's a good place for us to pause. I like that emoji. The cool cat. That's you, man. You're the cool cat. Hell yeah. And Commissar, I haven't forgotten about you. You're gonna get to be this mini as well, or B8, I think it was, which is this miniature. So you'll be, nope. I was wrong. It is this one. You'll be B8. I can't wait to use these on the tabletop. I'm really excited to get them painted and get them on the tabletop and actually learn to play a game of CSM with them. That's gonna be super sweet. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm reminiscing about something that hasn't happened yet, so I'm very excited. I will end stream here in about a minute or so. I'm just kind of getting my ducks in a row for tomorrow. So just to summarize what we did today, we get through all these models. Tomorrow, we're going to get through a few more of these and just get back on track and try and get them done and try and work our way through the remainder of this booklet. I mean, we only have, what, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 pages left. Like, we're making great progress, guys. And I haven't forgotten about the mixture of Rakoth Flesh and Magos Purple for the skin, for like bruises and like that choking to death kind of the skin. That looks really cool. So we're using that as well, probably on the Legionaries. I'm super excited to get to there. And that's my note for later. Oh, today is the... What's today? Today's the 5th of February. So we're gonna write down 2026-02-05. Perfect, thank you. All right, and I'm gonna put 50% because that's where we left off. Check mark there, and just on 06. So that's where we pick up tomorrow is this part here. That way we've got all of our ducks in a row, and we're good to go. But for the meantime, remember to praise the Emperor, and I'll see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.